Hello again, it's Dr. Boskovitz making a second lesson for chapter 3. This is chapter 3, lesson 2. So just to remind everybody, it's Dr. B, Dr. Madeline Boskovitz, the author of the guidebook, I Want to Be Me, but I Don't Know Who I Am. This was actually said by one of my clients, and she was struggling to figure out what she wanted for herself. So, and then I'm also working with this workbook authored by me that more or less matches what is in the guidebook, but it adds to it and makes things explicit. I wrote the workbook because I got the feedback I got from the guidebook was, well, that's great, but how do you do it? So I realized that there was a need to be more specific. So in the guidebook, I welcome people to do a lot of exercises. There are tables to fill out. There are all kinds of ways to learn how to do it, as they say. So in part 1 of chapter 3, I talked a lot about how to take care of yourself. You know, you're learning to manage your personal hygiene and your chores, which kind of chores is part of taking care of your environment, which is an extension of yourself in many ways. If you're lucky enough to have a private space and to take care of it. So, and this is of course all in preparation for the adult years. But I would just want to backtrack back. I am right now still doing the pre-teens. In other words, looking at those skills that you need to acquire or to begin acquiring. Again, this is always a lifetime job to begin acquiring before you reach the teen years, because it puts you in a much better position to feel empowered, to feel that you're in control of yourself, that you're managing yourself well. So I'm sort of rearranging the different pieces in chapter 3, part 1, but we will get through it all. So what I did, in the previous lesson, which you probably saw a couple of days ago, I did self-care, the hygiene, and the chores. And in this one, today I'm going to look at this part of self-care which has to do with your education. And I start with homework. Homework, whether you're a good student or not a good student, or whether you like school or hate school, everybody hates homework. And even grown-ups hate homework. And why is that? Because it's challenging, because when you get homework, it's after a whole day at school, so you're kind of tired. But also, homework is about testing to see how well you learned things during the day. Did you understand what was being taught? Did you pay attention? Do you remember it? It's challenging. It's work. Homework is work. So I'll share with you what I used to do with my kids, because yes, they went through a whole day of school first, which demands a lot of attention and work from students. And they needed a break after school. If I could, I would take them to a park to just run around, stretch their legs, have some fun. Now think about the homework, and then we would get a snack. And then, usually I give them at least 45 minutes to an hour to really relax and get the energy to pick up again and do a good couple of hours of homework. But after you regain your energy, homework goes faster and not as difficult. And so in my book, I list things that need to happen to get ready for homework and during homework doing. So to get ready, write down the assignments when you're at school, make sure that you get the assignments. That's often a problem where if it's not written clearly, then you don't exactly know what you're supposed to do, and so you'll get discouraged. So don't let that get in your way. Make sure you write down the assignments correctly, that you bring the right books home to to after school tutorials so that you have what you need. You start your homework at a time where you will have time to finish it. So taking off an hour is useful, but more than an hour kind of gets you into dinner time or other time when you just won't get enough time to finish it. Take little breaks, even while you're doing your homework, you can take little breaks. But an important thing, do it without getting prodded into it. It's your work. It's not your parents. They've already been through school. It's not the teachers. She's been through school too, and she's worked all day to teach you. It's for you. It's not for anybody else. And what does that mean for you? Well, you probably don't realize it, but it's for you and your future. Doing the homework, learning the stuff that's taught at school is the most important thing that you can get done because it's your door to your choices for your future. So do it without supervision, do it without being prodded into it, do it without supervision. You can request help as needed or go online and get the help. Make sure that if you do get personal help, that you review the lesson with that person, not that she is doing your work. Make sure you understand the material. Make sure you understand what's being asked of you in the homework. Resume working on your own as soon as possible. Don't let others do your work and steal your success. Of course, your mother knows how to do your homework. She's already gone through school, but it's your success, your life. So don't let them steal it. Complete your work. Enjoy feeling good about having done it. You put your energy into it and you do your best. It feels good. Don't let anybody take that away from you. And even the hardest it was, the better it feels. So pack up your work to keep it safe, put it in your backpack, ready to hand in on time. And when you have a project, start early to give yourself plenty of time. Check that you have what you need and do the best job you can because you deserve success. Enjoy the feeling of accomplishment and of success. Enjoy receiving a good grade for your work. That's recognition. And, sometimes you can just go back to the identity scale and move that happy or proud or whatever quality, ambitious, maybe even move it to where it needs to be now. Is it nearer to your future space or not? So I, of course, because we talked about chains last time and in chapter 2 as well, I provide you with a chain example. Let me see if I can pull it up in the share screen. Where did it go? Okay, here. I'm going to move the page. So this was managing homework. Here we go. Let me show you the chain. Here is the chain. Okay, come home from school, put backpack on hook by the door, have a snack, take a short break, then take my back to the kitchen without anybody telling me, take out the planner, see what I have to do, and choose the assignment to work on first. Now here, a lot of people feel they have to do the most difficult thing to do to get it out of the way, but I disagree. My advice is do the easiest one first so that you feel good. You've accomplished something. You've done one thing. So that's great. And you need to build up your feeling good to more difficult ones. Take out the one you like the best or the easiest one, but make sure that you get them all done. And there's not an excuse that now you have no more time for the other one. So you can see there's again 15 steps. I kind of like 15. So these are the steps that I listed, which are my granddaughters, and you have your own link chain of 15 items. So one thing that I want to go into, and which is very important, and it sort of dovetails dovetails right into it, is that it's not just the homework, but even at school, take care of your own learning. This is a big, big responsibility to take on. It is, take charge of your learning. In other words, pay attention in class. Try to stay with the teacher and learn. It not just, just being there doesn't help you learn. I know, or sort of listening and not paying attention does not help you learn. You have to really pay attention and really kind of work it in your mind, what you are hearing, what you're learning. It is work, but it's also a habit. After a short while, you do that automatically. It's a good discipline. Pay attention, because when people give you directions, it's hard to remember them if you're not paying attention. So learn to pay attention, to really focus on something. And at school, if it's too difficult, make sure you go to an afternoon, after school class. Make sure that from day to day you keep up. This is actually the easiest way to succeed at school and to get the grades that you want and to feel that you are smart. But being smart is really not magic. It's doing the work, paying attention, staying with it. And it's also those years of the preteen years is a time to see that you have the basic skills of English and math under control, that you can read fluently. And if you can't yet, this is the time to get there, because it will really get in your way. If you're not reading fluently, it does make homework and classwork much more difficult. So how do you do that? You keep reading, you practice, you read carefully, you look up words that you don't know, you try to make sure that you're pronouncing them correctly, maybe work with a tutor if you're lucky enough to have one, or simply go to study hall and to after school or before school programs to help you. Or if you have a older, brother or sister who can help you, make sure that you're reading correctly every word. Sometimes there are volunteers in the community that will help you. There's all sorts of ways, but it's up to you to seek them out, to try and find out to get the help you need. And math is just as important, maybe even more important in some ways. But math takes reading as well, so that when you have a word problem, you know what you are reading, you are paying attention to it, and you know what's being asked of you. And math, you have to learn what we call the tables, the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Those are essential. You can learn them on the computer, you can learn them with flashcards, you can learn them the way we all did long before we had computers and typewriters. We just learned them as a song, and in a way, I remember sitting with my whole class being 8 years old, and 5 times 8 is 40, 5 times 9 is 45, 5 times 6 is, 5 times 8, 5 times 9, 5 times 10 is 50, 5 times 11 is 55, 5 times 12 is 60. And, I don't remember that it was boring. It was just something to do. But what happens when you learn them as a song, sing song, is that, and listen to it, is that it becomes automatic. 5 times 9, click, 45, and this is the best way for math, because if you don't have that automatic answer, then it makes it so difficult to get through problems. So it's very important. And again, this does not take that long. I remember my son had trouble learning his tables, and his treat was to be able to do it on my typewriter. He got to type the tables, all of them, all the multiplication tables. By the way, the division is just a reverse, so you don't have, 5 times 9 is 45. 45 divided by 5 is 9. Divided by 9 is 5. It all kind of works one into the other. So, and if you have difficulties, with things like ADHD, which so many of you do well, dyslexia, there's always help in the school to get, so get the help you need. It's not, it may be embarrassing. It may be something you don't want to do, but it's there for your use and your success. So, maybe you can get past the embarrassment and make sure that you are getting the help that you need so that everybody's on an even ground. So, I also want to review quickly the skills that we started talking about the other day in chapter 2, how to behave at school, in the classroom, how to obey the classroom and the rules, classroom and group rules, how to cooperate with other students or when you need to, how to respect others' space and work, staying on task and doing your work as best as you can. And on the playground or in the schoolyard, taking turns, cooperating in games with others, avoiding being unfair or cheating, avoiding bullying others or trying to manipulate them. This is a little bit of a review of the other day of chapter 2. A lot of kids want to be leaders. Well, leadership skills include flexibility and, most important, being kind to others so that they will follow you. But be a follower sometimes and go along with others when it's wise, not just any time. Avoid challenges to do dangerous or stupid things. These are probably not worth getting hurt or punished, or who knows what can happen when you do dangerous and stupid things. Avoid doing dumb things just to be noticed by others. This is sort of, I'm thinking of the class clown, where, you like making people laugh, but it comes at a cost to you. And also after a while, you feel you have to do that even when you don't want to. And of course, then it's time to stop and become your own self. But just to impress others is not a good idea. The best is to take care of yourself. That is impressive enough. Others will really enjoy getting to know you. I think I wrote here a little piece about how to be popular, maybe in the next section, but yeah, I think we'll just get to it next time. Yeah, well, I'll just read it to you. So the only way to make friends is to be happy with who you are and letting others get to know you. Happy people always have friends. They're like magnets. So what if you're not happy? You're having a hard time at home. You're having a hard time at school. How can you be happy? Well, and this is probably worth repeating, but being happy with yourself is very separate from being happy about things that are happening around you. When you're taking care of yourself and you feel good about the way you take care of yourself, your hygiene, your room, your learning at school, your homework, there's a feeling that you're happy, you're satisfied with the way you are, you're doing the best that you can, even if the circumstances are not so exciting, and so satisfying. So being happy with yourself is an attitude, being in touch with your inner self and taking good care of yourself. This book aims to help you learn how to do that. So I'm going to stop here for this lesson and get back to number 3, chapter 3, part 3 very shortly. So as I shared with you in the last one, I am doing several lessons in a row so that I can keep them for you to, to have in the next few weeks while I'm on vacation. Of course, you do them at whatever pace you like, if you're doing them at all. But if you're watching me, you're probably doing them. So I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad to help. And I'll see you very shortly. Thank you.